This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports.
Hello, listeners. This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. Welcome to episode 238. I'm your host, Josh Bombach, and today's game will be pitting the Benchwarmer team of Mason Guillot and Marcus Ellis versus Benchwarmer Matt Takimoto and returning player Meesh Resnick. Welcome back to the bench, Meesh. Why don't you take a minute to remind us about yourself?
Thank you. So my name's Meesh. I'm from San Francisco. I'm a fan of all three Cleveland teams. We're 5 hours removed from a nice Joe Flacco comeback. Shout out Darnell Mooney for dropping that Hail Mary at the end. But yeah, Cleveland sports, the Mets, Rutgers, Michigan, fun. Thanks for having me on. I'm 0-3 as a player, so.
Well, we'll see if we can get you a win today. So Matt, how are you doing? And let us know what yours and Meesh's team name is going to be.
I'm good. I got paired up with the other Bay boy on the recording, and as we know, the Bay has the best burritos in the world because we invented the mission style burrito, and we were briefly talking about San Francisco burrito supremacy, and really it all comes down to what's open and available when you've had one too many drinks. So we will be burritos after dark.
All right, burritos after dark. And Mason and Marcus, let us know how you guys are doing and what your team name is.
I'll go ahead and go first, as is customary for teams with me on it. So yeah, Friday was my last day of the first semester, so that was nice. Now I get to rest for a little bit, not have to think about all that stuff. But otherwise, yeah, I'm doing okay.
Marcus?
Hey, I'm doing well. Just, doing the things that normal people do, like gamble on bowl games when half of every team is in the transfer portal, and preparing to soon watch my Washington Huskies play in the college football playoff. And with that being said, we're going to be going to New Orleans in the Sugar Bowl. So Mason and I decided we can both agree on this. So we are going to be horns down today.
All right. So we have burritos after dark versus horns down. Let's kick it over to our emeritus benchwarmer, Dan, for the rules.
The game will consist of 4 quarters of play, each with different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see who are today's clipboard captains, to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right, let's get this game underway.
Thanks, Dan. Today's game will be the 2023 year in review. For this is our last recording of the year. It's December, 17th? So anything that's happened in the last 11 and a half months is game. So hopefully you guys have been paying attention to some sports and a variety of it. If not, guess well. So I guess we'll go with that. All right, today's first quarter will be sporting haikus.
Sporting haikus. For this quarter, there will be 4 questions in haiku form. Each question is worth 25 points.
Question 1 in sporting haikus. Thoroughbred racehorse. Much like Hanks and Dick Weber. Preakness Stakes winner.
Okay, we're going to check in.
All right, horns down is checked in. So burritos after dark, you guys can talk it out.
Can we talk it out, though? That's the question. We can talk. Can we talk it out is the bigger thing.
All right.
Okay, what we're working with is Dick Weber's a bowler.
All I know is he's a bowler, and he has a son who's a slightly more famous bowler. That's all I know.
Right. And I'm assuming the Hanks is Tom and not multiple guys named Hank. Oh, that would also be funny.
All of the Hank Williamses that there are.
Yeah.
You just get all of them together.
Yep. Dick Weber has multiple brothers named Hank. Hank Weber, and Dick Weber. Hanks and Dick Weber. Okay, so is this something where we're putting together Tom with something about bowling? Now I'm trying to think of Tom Hanks movies that might be tangentially bowling related. He wasn't in Kingpin, though he should have been in Kingpin. A bowling league of their own. Is that a thing? I don't know.
The pre and post game? I thought we were doing sporting haikus.
I mean, but that's the thing is like a horse name can be literally anything. Meesh, pick your favorite Tom Hanks movie, and let's go with that.
I don't know. The first movie that popped into my head, I haven't even seen it, is Philadelphia.
Oh. We will check in with Philadelphia Turkey, because that's a bowling term and a Tom Hanks movie.
I don't think I want one of those, whatever that is.
All right. And horns down, what did you guys have?
I thought Mish was gonna say his favorite Tom Hanks movie is The Burbs, but well, the only thing that Mason and I could come up with was that there's a bench warmer on this show that likes to refer to Tom Hanks and Dick Weber as national treasures, and I was like, is that too easy? Is that a thing? And we decided that we didn't have anything better, so we checked in with national treasure.
One team will be getting points. The correct answer is not Philadelphia Turkey, but it is national treasure because, yes, Tom Hanks and, well, all but one benchwarmer could agree that Dick Weber is also a national treasure. So,
very nice. I needed a Nick Cage hint in there. If it was a Nick Cage hint, I could have gotten there.
Wow. Over Tom Hanks?
No, because he was in the movie National Treasure.
Fair.
He also is a national treasure, but that's not
I was
the
going
point.
with people who have been referred on this podcast multiple times as national treasures. Anyway, John Velasquez was a national treasures jockey. This was Velasquez's 6th Triple Crown race win and his first at the Preakness Stakes.
I think we as bench warmers need to pull together and get a horse named Philadelphia Turkey and see if we can win the Preakness. I feel like that's the next move.
Okay, so we've got sausage sponsor, an apple sponsor. Eid wants an apple sponsor, and now we need a horse. Okay.
Yes, so
The horse can have the apples.
there we go. I was just going to say, if we have an apple sponsor.
My sister owns multiple horses, so we can start piecing this together.
All right.
She can hook us up with some people.
And then we'll ride Philadelphia Turkey to steal the Declaration of Independence.
All right. Let's move on to question 2 in Sporting Haikus. Daytona winner. Senior was not in NASCAR. X of Danica.
We will check in.
All right. Burritos After Dark is checked in. Horns down. You guys get to talk it out.
Okay, so it's not Dale Jr.
I think we're just going to have to run through all the list of juniors that we know in NASCAR and go from there.
Like I said, I know nothing about Martin Truex Jr.'s dad. I don't know if that's a thing.
Something in my head's telling me that he also raced, but I don't have enough solid foundation on that.
And I'm trying to think of other juniors.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through all the names that I know, and
Yeah.
And I don't know Danica Patrick's exes, so that doesn't really do anything.
I know one.
Oh, you won, yeah.
Not a race car driver.
No. Amateur doctor and philosopher. You just want to go with Martin Truex Jr. because that's the best I got. I don't
Sure,
think I'm gonna get.
It's a junior and could have won Daytona. Sure, I don't have anything better. So.
All right, we'll check in with Truex Jr.
Okay, and Burritos After Dark, what did you guys have?
I texted him immediately, Truex Jr. ? Only junior I can think of. And then we checked in with that. So, Martin Truex Jr.
Unfortunately, neither team will be getting points. The correct answer is Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Oh.
Martin Truex Sr., the father of the other junior on the circuit, was a driver in NASCAR's second-tier circuit from 1992 to 2000. So you had the right path of thinking. You just...
Yeah. Once you said Ricky Stenhouse, I'm like, oh, yeah, he does say it is junior. So, yeah.
I mean, there could be other people in NASCAR who technically are juniors that don't call themselves that, but Ricky Stenhouse and Martin Truex do go by. So when you look at the standings and stuff, they have junior right in there. So All right. Well, a little slow start. I mean, we've had horse racing and NASCAR. So what I can tell you is there won't be another horse racing nor another NASCAR question. So
Hey.
those ones you're free and clear of. All right, let's move on to question 3. In a sport I hope most of you pay some attention to. Former MVP before Ohtani Cade Trout hit into DP.
Josh, we will check in.
Burritos After Dark has checked in. Horns down, you guys get to talk it out.
Oh, so I'm trying to think of who was on the USA team that this would fit.
Yeah, because I know we had Trout obviously hit, so we were at the top of the order. I don't remember who was leading off, but Trey Turner had a hell of a World Baseball Classic.
I don't remember if he won MVP.
Well, because he got that monster deal with the Phillies this season was the first year of that.
Right.
And he had a terrible year, but did he win MVP?
I don't think so.
What
about Mookie Betts? Would he have been?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a former MVP.
And that would make sense that he would be top of the order.
It was either him or it was like him, Turner, Trout. Yeah. I think I like that one. Yeah, let's go ahead.
You got that? Okay. We'll check in Mookie Betts.
All right, and Burritos After Dark, what did you guys have?
Yeah, we went straight to 2 of Ohtani's new teammates in Los Angeles, Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, and we kind of had a similar thought about who would have been hitting around and before Trout in the order in that World Baseball Classic, and we also checked in with Mookie Betts.
All right, well, both teams will be getting their points because the correct answer is Mookie Betts. The other former MVPs on the Team USA World Baseball Classic roster were Paul Goldschmidt, who was in the on-deck circle when the game ended, and Mike Trout, who obviously could not be the answer. All right, well, there we go. Both teams getting points on a question. That's lovely to see. Let's see if we can keep that up. How's your hockey, everybody?
Yeah, let's do that hockey.
All right. Remember, this is all 2023 related. NHL Center. Ross, Hart, Lindsay, and Richard. Lost in second round.
Josh, we'll check in.
All right. Burritos After Dark is checked in. Horns down. You guys can talk it out.
I mean, right off the bat, you got someone that would be able to do that on the same season. I feel like it's got to be Connor McDavid. And I think for a fast break, I wrote 2 questions that were paired together and was like, who won? I think it was who won the Ross and who won the Hart or something. And it ended up being they're both Connor McDavid.
Okay.
Or it was something, I asked something along those lines. It wasn't exactly maybe those 2, but.
Yeah, the only other person that I thought of possibly was Austin Matthews because, the Maple Leafs finally made it out of the first round. But yeah, he definitely won multiple, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. We're going to check in Connor McDavid.
All right. And Burritos After Dark, what'd you guys have for an answer?
Same. Yeah, we both at the exact same time messaged each other Connor McDavid, and I think Meesh and I are in a good groove of not overthinking it right now, where we're just like, yep, that's it. Let's do it.
Nice. Well, both teams will be getting points. The correct answer is Connor McDavid. And a little trophy refresher. The Art Ross is most points. The Hart Memorial is the MVP. The Ted Lindsay is the most outstanding player. And the Maurice Rocket Richard is most goals. So there aren't too many in any given year who could roll up all of those. So well done. And after the first quarter, we have the following scores. We have Burritos After Dark with 50 and Horns Down leading the way slightly with 75.
We wanted to let you know that we are on Patreon if you'd be interested in supporting us financially. Your contributions will be used to help us cover the costs that it takes to bring you the high-quality sports trivia you have come to expect from us. There's also some great perks that come with the Patreon membership to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, including bonus episodes and Benchwarmers swag. You can find us at patreon.com/benchwarmerstp. Thanks.
Today's second quarter will be David v. Goliath.
David versus Goliath. This quarter will consist of 3 pairs of questions, one easier, David, and one harder, Goliath. After hearing both questions, the teams will pick one of the 2 questions to answer, either David or Goliath. Each David question is worth 25 points, and each Goliath question is worth 50 points.
Question 1, David. Who won the men's singles tennis title at the 2023 Australian Open? Question 1, Goliath. Who won the women's singles tennis title at the 2023 Australian Open?
Okay, we'll check in.
Okay, Horns Down has checked in, so Burritos After Dark, you guys can talk it out.
I don't think we have to talk that long.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel good about any Goliath.
Pretty sure in one of the majors this year, it was someone who was relatively lower ranked, like kind of an upset win. And I don't remember if that was the Australian or if that was Wimbledon or like which major it was. And I don't think Swiatek won it.
The only name that popped in my head, Ashley Barty, she's the one who retired as the number 1. But that may have been last year. I think she retired after winning an Australian, but that seems like way more than a year ago. So yeah, if you don't feel like that's 2023, then yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm okay checking in the David of Djokovic. We good with that?
Yeah.
All right, we will check in for the David with Novak Djokovic.
Okay, and Horns Down, what did you guys have?
Yeah, we went through a very similar process because I had Swiatek as a name. I don't think that she won the Australian. I couldn't pinpoint it, and we really didn't have anything else. So yeah, we went with Djokovic for the David.
All right, well, both teams will be getting the David points. Correct answer is Novak Djokovic from Serbia. Djokovic won 3 of 4 Grand Slam titles in 2023. He lost to Carlos Alcaraz from Spain in the 2023 Wimbledon Championship Final. He holds the all-time record with 24 Grand Slam titles, including a record 10 Australian Open titles. And after his win at the French Open this year, he became the only man in history to complete a triple career Grand Slam. And the Goliath answer to who won the women's singles title at the Australian Open was Aryna Sabalenka out of Belarus. And this was Sabalenka's first Grand Slam title. She is currently ranked number 2 in the WTA rankings behind Iga Swiatek, the winner of the 2023 French Open. All right, moving on to question 2 in David v. Goliath. David, what PGA golfer won the 2023 Masters tournament? Goliath, what LPGA golfer won the 2023 Chevron Championship?
We'll check in.
Okay, Horns Down has checked in. So Burritos After Dark, you guys can talk it out for a couple minutes.
Okay, so I think we're settling on John Rahm as the David.
Yeah, I'm not going to get the Goliath.
Yeah,
I couldn't talk it out.
I'm not going to get the Goliath either. If we're feeling okay with John Rahm as the David, then I think we don't take too much time and we just go with it.
All right, sounds good. And Horns Down, what did you guys have?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. I can pull a couple of names of LPGA golfers that would be pretty prominent, but not enough confidence to say who won that. So we went with John Rahm for the David.
Both teams playing it safe, but getting their points. Correct answer for the David is John Rahm out of Spain. Rahm's only other major championship came at the 2021 U.S. Open. The LPGA golfer who won the 2023 Chevron Championship was Lilia Vu out of the United States. Vu also won the Women's Open, aka the Women's British Open in 2023. All right. Alpine skiing, anybody?
Oh,
That's a sport.
It is.
All right. Question 3, David. Who won the FIS Alpine Ski World Cup Women's Championship in 2023? And I bet you can't guess what my question is for the Goliath. who won the FIS Alpine Ski World Cup Men's Championship in 2023.
Josh, we can check in.
All right, Burritos After Dark has checked in. So horns down, you guys got a couple of minutes to talk it out.
I'm trying to remember her name.
I wish I could help you.
Yeah, I mean, she's like a pretty big name. Might be on the female side, definitely the biggest. I just don't remember her name off the top of my head. Super decorated, like just
Yeah,
been dominant. I don't know why it's not coming.
like
to me
Lindsey
right now.
Vonn dominant.
Probably, I'd say so. She won a lot of things, but I just
Okay.
I just can't for the life of me remember her name. And Goliath, I'm not even gonna spend a second thinking about, because if I can't think of the David, there's no way I'm gonna even venture to.
What was
think of
what
Goliath.
was the guy who was the skier and he played receiver for the Eagles? What was his name? Jeremy Bloom. Yeah, that's it. That's.
I mean, we might have a better chance.
Yeah, we're gonna check in with the Goliath with Jeremy Bloom.
All right.
Confirmed.
And Burritos After Dark, what did you guys have for an answer?
We just kind of knew one skier, I think. Actually, maybe Matt knows a ton of skiers and he only mentioned one, but we both discussed Michaela Schifrin as like the recent GOAT skier. And he said he couldn't name an active men's skier. And I said I couldn't name an inactive one, so we didn't even try.
Yeah, the only men's skier that came to mind was Hermann Meyer, and I'm pretty sure he's like 55 years old. So I don't think he's winning World Cups in 2023. If he is, it'd be a bigger story. So we checked in with the David of Michaela Schifrin.
All right. No surprise, one team will be getting their points. The correct answer to the David is Michaela Schifrin from the United States. This was Schifrin's 5th World Cup title. She won in 2017 through 2019 and 22 and 23. I do believe she either has become or will soon become the most decorated alpine skier of all time, men or women. I know that she was knocking on the door of passing. I don't remember his. I don't know if that's the same guy you were talking about or if it's some other downhill skier who was dominant, a male, and she was ready to pass him as like the greatest of all time. So yeah, Mason, as soon as you probably, when you heard Michaela, you probably were like, yep. So the answer to the Goliath is a gentleman out of Switzerland, Marco Odermatt. And this was Odermatt's 2nd World Cup title. He won back-to-back in 22 and 23.
Josh, can I borrow that for just a second? Who?
I will allow that.
Thank you.
By the way, he was a who for me when I was writing this question. But just because I write the question doesn't mean I know who these people are. Well, I just wanted to, utilize some of the sports that aren't, our typical big fours. And these ones all kind of worked out nicely. I mean, other than the Masters, it doesn't really have an absolute equivalent, but the Chevron Championship is in the U.S. as well. So I picked that one as the one for the women. All right. Let's see what we have for scores after the second quarter. It's all knotted up at 125 apiece. And that brings us to halftime.
It is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions. Each question is worth 25 points.
It's time for another edition of ChatGPT pre- and post-game. I asked ChatGPT to make up plots for movies based on a combination of 2 movies, with one being a sports movie released in 2023.
There were sports movies released in 2023.
There
movies
were a
released?
handful of them,
Oh, no.
and I was able to utilize 3 of them, and they are all 3 ones you should have heard of. Should have. Now, whether
It's sad I can't think of one off the top of my head right now.
Coach Carter got it.
Coach Carter 2.
Coach Carter 2, yeah.
Okay, well, let's just see how this goes.
Starring Draymond Green.
Plot number 1. In the high-energy atmosphere of Super Bowl 51, a team of skilled and cunning women come together for a unique mission to pull off an audacious heist of a set of legendary championship rings belonging to a celebrated athlete. From infiltrating exclusive parties to outsmarting the heightened security measures, the women must navigate a labyrinth of obstacles to reach their elusive goal. As the women execute their meticulously crafted heist during the exhilarating Super Bowl weekend, they must overcome unexpected challenges that test not only their professional skills, but also the strength of their newfound sisterhood. Loyalties are questioned, alliances are formed, and the stakes reach unprecedented heights as the heist unfolds in the shadow of the grand sporting spectacle. This film weaves a tale of empowerment, cunning, and female camaraderie against the backdrop of opulence and excess. The heist becomes a symbol of reclaiming agency and rewriting the narrative surrounding the athlete's legacy.
Go with that, Mark.
Yeah.
We'll check it.
Horns Down is checked in. Burritos After Dark. You guys can talk it out.
So I spent a while trying to put 80 for Brady as the first part of the pre and post game and was coming up with nothing. And then Meesh came in with the actual answer, or what we think is the actual answer. So Meesh, take it.
Ocean's 80 for Brady.
All right. And Horns Down, what did you guys have?
Yeah, in the middle of that 5-minute monologue, somehow I did remember a sports movie that came out only because of how bad I heard it was. But yeah, we also checked in with Ocean's 80 for Brady.
Both teams will be getting their points. The correct answer is indeed Ocean's 80 for Brady.
I would fully watch the women from 80 for Brady doing an Ocean style heist movie. Though.
Yeah,
that would be dope.
Yes. Just no.
I mean, it basically was when they like sneak into the Super Bowl. I think you should watch it. It was cute.
So obviously,
it was a little cute.
Obviously, you guys get a little time to have some fun reading it and listening to me because these are kind of long, but it's a summary. I gotta make it.
That was
clear.
very well written by ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, thanks you for those kind words. All right, should we move on to plot 2? In a picturesque Mexican village facing economic despair, a trio of unlikely heroes emerges from the shadows, each carrying the weight of their personal struggles. Their destinies intertwine when they discover a shared passion for boxing and the common desire to save the community from the grips of a ruthless oppressor. Through the grueling training sessions and heart-stopping bouts, the trio discovers the true power of unity and resilience. Their quest to save the village becomes a metaphorical battle, with each punch thrown in the ring representing a strike against injustice. The film is a tale of courage, redemption, and the transformative power of fighting for a greater cause. The trio's journey in the boxing ring mirrors their fight against the shadows that loom over their village. In this spirited narrative, the heroes learn that the real victory lies not just in winning bouts, but in the collective strength to defy the odds and illuminate the path towards a brighter future.
Okay, we can check in.
All right, Burritos After Dark is checked in. Horns Down. You guys can talk it out.
So I was like, okay, it's a boxing movie. It's got to be something that, is pretty prominent. And I finally got to Creed 3, and I think that came out this year. It feels like 5 years ago, but I think it came out this year. And I wouldn't be a self-respecting kid raised in the 90s if I didn't think of a trio of unlikely heroes and them being kids and not thinking of the Three Ninjas. So, I mean...
Does Creed 3 take place in Mexico?
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Obviously, I don't think Three Ninjas
no.
does.
I didn't. It's literally the first line, and I didn't read it.
So
2 minutes.
I'm not trying to poke a hole into your answer here, but that's the.
No, it's not set in Mexico.
I don't think Three Ninjas would be set in Mexico based on my limited knowledge of what that movie's about. To no one's surprise, I haven't seen either of those movies, so I can't corroborate anything about them.
We're all shocked, Mason.
Yeah, I know. Is there any other movie that starts with 3 that takes place in Mexico?
That's what I'm trying to think of. I'm like, 310 to Yuma is not it. Three
Amigos.
Oh, yeah. Creed 3 Amigos. Kind of seems like that would.
I mean, is that
Yeah, let's do it. I don't. That
Really?
makes more
Okay.
sense. Yeah.
All right, so we're going with Creed 3 Amigos.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Sure,
right.
let's go for it.
And Burritos After Dark, what did you guys have?
I also got way too absorbed in the idea that this might be a Three Ninjas answer. To the point where I was really talking myself into that might be the plot of Three Ninjas. But it takes place in a picturesque Mexican village and not at Mega Mountain. So it can't be that. And again, Meesh is the voice of reason and came in with the correct answer. So we also checked in with Creed 3 Amigos.
Oh, both teams will be getting points. Yes, indeed. The correct answer is Creed 3 Amigos. Whew.
The beauty of not knowing any answers is you just become the reading comprehension guy. You just make sure
That's
that
a
the guy,
really,
Exactly.
really
the guy
important
on the other
position.
side of the Zoom
on
just
this
knows what they're
podcast.
doing. Me and Mason on
That's
that one.
me during every halftime. I have to be the person that reads the question
Unless
because I
it's
don't have
about
anything else to
music.
prove.
Unless
Now I
it's
have
about
to.
music.
Now I have to have ChatGPT write a plot for Creed 3 Amigos High Noon at Mega Mountain.
Well, I just said Three Ninjas, the original. We don't need to get Terry involved.
Oh, man. Oh, no. My message is too long.
What?
Hey, that's shorter
It's a
than the... Wait a minute. It's shorter than
It's
the
a
last
two-parter.
one, isn't it?
It's
It
like
might-
the movies that were so long it had to come on 2 VHS tapes.
Oh yeah, Titanic.
Goodfellas too, I think.
All right, I'm going to have to give it to you in two different pieces, apparently. It's about the same
I was
length.
born in 1998. I don't even know what that is, guys. But it sounds like you were having a good time back in the day.
All right. So you
Near
guys just
and
don't
far.
start laughing until I can start reading this after I post both of these.
Okay.
No promises.
All right. Let's move on to plot 3. In the fast-paced world of high-stakes racing, a charming con artist sets his sights on a unique mark, a fiercely independent woman who owns a struggling racing team. Drawn to her passion for the sport, the con man weaves an elaborate web of deception to insinuate himself into her world. As he immerses himself in the racing scene, he discovers a group of talented but overlooked young drivers with dreams of making it big. Leveraging his skills in technology and persuasion, he introduces them to a cutting-edge racing simulation video game that promises to revolutionize their training and elevate their skills to professional levels. Unbeknownst to the woman and the aspiring drivers, the con artist's motives are twofold: to win the heart of the team owner and to execute the theft of valuable racing technology. As the digital and real-world races intensify, emotions run high, and the line between genuine affection and deception blurs. In this high-speed adventure, the con artist must confront his own desires and decide whether the pursuit of love is worth more than the thrill of the ultimate con.
We're gonna check in.
All right, Horns Down is checked in. Burritos After Dark, why don't you let me know what you're thinking and provide me with an answer relatively quickly.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure the 2023 racing video games movie is Gran Turismo. So now what the heck is this con artist, independent woman must choose between love and the con that ends in Grant or Gra or starts with Mo?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yep. Oh God. Let's go.
I don't think it's what I sent over, which is Gran Turismo Alley Cox. Ever since he caught that touchdown yesterday, I can't get him out of my head.
I can never get off of Mo Alley Cox.
Let's go. Okay. Let's go with, I think, is it Damon Wayans from the early 90s? Had a movie called Mo Money?
Sure.
I think we're checking in with Gran Turismo Money.
All right, and Horns Down, what did you guys have?
Well, yeah, this one stumped us a little bit. We were about like 3 lines into this. I typed to Mason Gran Turismo, and then spent the remaining time trying to figure something that either started with same thing or ended. We kind of thought Mo was more likely, so All that to say, we are very confidently checking in with Gran Turismo Mona Lisa Smile.
There's
right.
art
So
in it,
good.
so con artist, maybe, just maybe.
I really thought, Marcus, you would have gotten there, but
I hate that you said that.
one team will be getting points. The correct answer is Gran Turismo Money.
Outstanding.
Unbelievable job,
Damon
Matt.
Wayans played a con
Outstanding.
man who fell in love and conned his way into working where the woman he fell in love with was. That's the whole premise of that movie. So
The whole premise is news to me. I just remembered it was Damon Wayans and it was called Mo Money.
all right, so after halftime, we have the following scores. Horns Down has 175, and Burritos After Dark has taken the lead with 200. Today's third quarter will be 5-on-3.
Five on three. For this quarter, there will be 3 categorized lists containing 5 items, where each item is worth 10 points. The teams will attempt to guess as many items as they can. However, if a team has an incorrect guess, they will receive 0 points for that list.
Okay, so our first list, I would like you to provide up to 5 answers from the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup All-Tournament First Team.
We're gonna what?
So this is the one where you have up to 5 that you can name. If you have any that are wrong, you get 0 points, but you get 10 for every one you get. Just a little reminder for you.
Oh, great.
So the 2023, you are familiar that this was a thing that happened in 2023, right? The FIBA
Yeah, I mean,
Basketball
yeah.
World Cup. All right.
All right, let's see if we can get one to start off with. We'll work our way there.
All right. All right, Horns Down is checked in. Burritos After Dark, you guys can briefly talk it out and let me know how many answers you would like to provide.
Okay, so
Okay, Matt.
I
So
think we feel most comfortable about Luca, right?
yes,
Okay.
I definitely remember him playing.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I remember hearing Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards a lot.
hmm
And then I don't know why Finland stuck in my head. I would feel like such an idiot if we did Markkanen and it was not an answer. So it's not worth it.
Sure. And then we talked about maybe Germany, either Franz Wagner or Dennis Schroeder, but those are also iffy. They're just German. I don't remember them in the I don't remember Germany playing in the tournament. All I know
Just
is
German.
Yeah.
They're
I
just
don't
German. They're just German.
Write that down.
Do you want to check in with Luca, Shea, and Anthony Edwards? Just Luca and Shea? How are you feeling?
I would think an American would be on there.
Okay.
And
So-
I feel like I remember him being our main guy that didn't suck that month.
Sure.
Do you remember it similarly?
I remember it similarly. He's the I feel like he's the one guy that stuck out as he was playing really hard.
Trying.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we good with those 3 then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we will check in with Luka Doncic, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and Anthony Edwards.
All right, and Horns Down, what did you guys have?
So we also felt very confident with Luca. You know what? We just had essentially the same conversation, except we didn't think about Finland and Lauri Markkanen and didn't think about Germany. But I remember on Twitter, while it was going on, all they were talking about for the United States was Anthony Edwards. So, and I felt pretty good about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So for us, it was also deciding, do we want to add this third person of Anthony Edwards? And Mason said he trusted me, so we also checked in with Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Anthony Edwards.
All right, well, both teams will be getting points. Those are 3 of the 5. Germany not only played, they won the tournament.
Oh,
Really?
Yes, they beat Serbia.
Now that you say it, I mean, yeah.
And both of the names you offered did get one was on first team, one was on second team, so you had to have picked the right one. But so yes, SGA, Anthony Edwards, and Luka Doncic were on the first team, along with Dennis Schroeder from Germany and Bogdan Bogdanovic from Serbia. Other than Franz Wagner from Germany, who was on the second team, I'm not sure I can pronounce any of these names correctly. And all four of these names, I'm pretty sure, are who's to me, and maybe you as well. But the other second teamers are Artur Zagars from Latvia, Simone Fontecchio from Italy, Jonas Valanciunas from Lithuania, and Nikola Milutinov from Serbia.
Valanciunas,
Yeah,
he's an
Valanciunas
NBA. He
is
was on the
legit.
Okay.
Yeah.
he was on the Raptors for a while. He's on the Pelicans.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
He was a
I
top
love
5
Jonas
pick.
Valanciunas.
Yeah.
Double.
Good.
Yeah.
Then maybe I should have heard of him. How about those other guys? Any of those other names?
No,
sound
no,
good?
no, no, no.
No,
Okay,
no,
good.
no. Valanciunas,
No.
yes. Otherwise,
No.
man.
I think
And,
I saw a painting by Simone Fontecchio when I was in Florence last summer.
part of the pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood.
Yeah,
or something.
Gallinari
right.
did.
One of those-
Danilo
one of those.
Gallinari didn't make it.
And Dennis Schroeder was the MVP. Josh Giddey
Ooh.
was the rising star,
We'll bleep that out.
and Dylan Brooks was the best defensive player who got thrown out of games. Wait, right? Isn't that his whole shtick? Is just anyway.
I'm not gonna say it.
The LeBron stopper. Dylan Brooks.
So you know what? Pretty well done. You picked the three that were definitely, you probably did hear the most. I actually heard the most about Shai, Gilgeous-Alexander, and Anthony Edwards. Probably because they played in the third place game, but it was kind of a coming out party for Anthony Edwards for anybody who didn't know that he was good. So a lot of people outside of Minnesota. So
And with SGA, everybody just needs to know that despite all the young talent they have, that Thunder team is cursed, and that curse is still in effect as long as we do not have a basketball team.
That is correct.
they should be really pushing for you guys to get a team, so
They
that
really should.
because then you will release them of the curse. Is that what you're
Maybe.
saying? Maybe. All right. well,
I'm very petty.
What? You? No. All right, let's move on to list 2 in 5-on-3. So I want you to tell me as many of the top 5 as you can from the 2023 Major League Baseball stolen base leaders. Because the bases got a little bigger, the pitch clock came into effect, and limited throwovers did increase the number of stolen bases in Major League Baseball. So tell me how many of the top 5 you can comfortably name.
Josh, we will check in.
All right, Burritos After Dark has checked in. Hands down, you guys can talk it out and let me know your answers.
Rude. So, Mason, we both agree. Number 1 with the bullet was Ronald Acuna.
Yeah, not even close.
Right.
Otherwise.
You put down Bobby Witt and Corbin Carroll. Big agree. Seattle legend, Corbin Carroll. And the one that I was discussing that I know because he's an in-division rival, I think it's Estuary Ruiz, I think is his name, but I'm just going to say Ruiz.
Estuary? Like the...
I think that's like how it's spelled. But
Yeah, sure, I trust you.
I know that because I've seen his stupid, his little stat bug pop up 1,000 times. So,
yeah, I wouldn't have been able to come up with that name, so I trust you on that one. Sure.
And him and like Jose Siri for the Rays, they wear like, it looks like rave necklaces, like with a whole bunch of like really colorful, like it looks like a 12-year-old made them. I'm sure it's like worth tens of thousands of dollars. Anyways, doesn't matter. But yeah, I feel pretty good about those 4. I don't really know that I would feel confident about anybody else. I know Julio's like, he might even be top 10, but I know he didn't get there.
Yeah.
And like you said, with Ellie De La Cruz, I just think he got called up too late. I think he probably is close, but I just don't.
Yeah, because I mean, with all the stolen bases this year, we're looking at like 40 plus to probably be top five, even maybe close to 50 at that point. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Acuna was like 70, I think.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, top five, especially like I said this year compared to all the others before. I'm good with those four.
Okay. So we're checking in with Acuna, Witt, Carroll, and Ruiz.
Okay, and Burritos After Dark, what did you guys have for answers?
We tossed some similar names around. Bobby Witt is one I wished I remembered because I didn't. I felt really good about Acuna and Corbin Carroll, and then it got fuzzy from there. I didn't think Julio had enough. I didn't think like Ellie De La Cruz had enough. Nico Horner for the Cubs, I think, had a bunch, but I don't know where he ended up, and I didn't feel confident about putting him on there. So we just checked in with Ronald Acuna Jr. and Corbin Carroll.
All right, well, let's go through the top five. Number one, not completely with a bullet, but number one was Ronald Acuna Jr. with 73. Number two was, I think it's probably pronounced Esteury Ruiz from Oakland. He had 67, so not too far behind. Then a little bit of a drop off to number three, Corbin Carroll with 54, followed by Bobby Witt Jr. with 49. Rounding out the top five, C.J. Abrams from Washington with 47. So both teams will be getting their points. Those top five, so C.J. Abrams would have tied for one of the previous 5 years, but would have won all of the years other than that, and he was the fifth. So number 6 was Nico Horner. Number 7 was Ha-Sung Kim from San Diego. Number 8 was Julio Rodriguez. Number 9 was Ellie De La Cruz. And number 10 was Willie Castro of the Minnesota Twins.
Nice.
So, I think if Ellie had the full season, he very well would have been a top five. Yeah. But yeah, you can you can't control when you get called up and start tearing up the league. So,
well, the owners could, but they're like, "Ooh, one more year of control, you're waiting, buddy."
Yeah. I'm guessing Cincinnati is similar to Seattle in that realm, because I know you've complained about that for many a year.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, they are, because they're the only ones that trade with each other. There's just a pipeline of Reds and Mariners.
So they just keep going back and forth and just keeping ultimate control.
Luis Castillo, Suarez.
Suarez just has both uniforms in his locker at all times.
Yeah. Well, now he's in Arizona.
Yeah.
Good luck.
All right. The final list in 5-on-3. I want you to tell me as many of the top 5 as you can of the 2023 NCAA Division I FBS touchdown passing leaders.
Okay, I think I can.
Yeah, baby. We're in there.
Josh, we'll check in.
Okay, Burritos After Dark has checked in. So horns down, you got a couple of minutes here to talk it out and let me know how many of those 5 you want to try and name.
Yes, so we have Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, and Bo Nix. Absolutely, 1,000%.
Yes.
And then you said the guy from James Madison, and instantaneously I typed McLeod, the kid from JMU.
I'm glad.
And only know that because I listen to the McAfee show every day, and they had their coach on there, and he wouldn't shut up about him. Now the head coach at Indiana. He's like, I don't want to leave JMU. Of course, they all don't until they write them a check that tells them how much they're making, and they're like, oh, I love Indiana. I don't know about this 5th one.
I'm trying to have a couple names, but I don't feel.
So the one that was the leader last year that I think he's just outside now is Austin Reed from Western Kentucky. I don't think he's up there.
Yeah,
because he threw I feel like close to 60 last year or something like that, something crazy. Yeah. But
there's a guy from Liberty.
Oh,
I don't remember his.
Oh, come on!
I don't remember his name. He runs a lot too, but I can't remember his name. I don't remember his name. I don't even know if he's top 5, but he's he's been pretty good all year.
Yeah.
Again,
I don't know
and
his name.
so I was telling Marcus, because this is the only way that I can even think about these names. Because I'm a degenerate. I was in a non-Power 5 NCAA fantasy football league, and that's how much I watch college football. So I'm trying to pull any names.
Wow.
It's very sad.
And
I was also in an SEC only one, which is very hard because when there's like 12 teams, you get like one quarterback and you hope for the best.
that's
Jeez.
crazy.
Sorry,
it's-
you've got Vandy's QB.
I had them and Graham Mertz. Graham Mertz was actually pretty decent. But yeah, I had all of Vandy's quarterbacks. I was like, whichever one hopefully works, just in the bye
Right.
weeks. But anyway, yeah, that's percent.
I say we go with the 4. I don't think I feel
Yeah.
confident enough about.
And it very well could be. It could be, like, Dylan Gabriel or someone maybe sneaks into, where because
Yeah.
Oklahoma puts a ton of points. Like, this could be really anybody. I don't want to. I don't think we should risk if we feel good about the 4.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so we're gonna go Daniels, Penix, Nix, and McLeod as our 4.
All right.
There can only be one.
And Burritos After Dark, what did you guys have? What did you guys check in with?
Well, you have an LSU fan, a Washington fan, and an Oregon fan on this particular episode for this particular question. So the top 3 were a bit easy. Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels had 40 each, if I remember correctly. Penix had 33, 34, somewhere in there. Something like that. So those 3 were for sure. We thought about Dylan Gabriel. It felt dicey. And having 30 slam dunk points felt okay. So we checked in with Daniels, Nix, and Penix.
Okay. Well, you nailed the top 2 and the number that they had. Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels both had 40. Michael Penix is tied for 3rd with 33. In a moment, we'll talk about who he's tied with. And number 5 was Jordan McLeod from James Madison,
Nice.
who had 32. So the quarterback who also had 33 is the quarterback who sort of did they end the discussion about James Madison possibly, getting invited to the
It's the
to
kid
the
from-
is from so it's Joey Aguilar from Appalachian
State.
State.
Oh, right.
So he also threw 33 touchdowns. You named a bunch of the others in the top 10. There were 2 tied for 6th. One is Caden Salter from Liberty.
From Liberty. Yeah.
Austin Reed, which you mentioned. Tied for 8th was Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma and Caleb Williams from USC.
Yeah.
And rounding out the top 10 was Chandler Rogers from North Texas with 29. So,
Yeah.
So well done. Points aplenty in that round. And you guys understand that unlike E, that you don't have to go for 5 all the time. Although he goes for 5 and gets them. So
and
I
gets
guess
them because he's
what-
like, oh, I don't know. I saw this once while I was like, in the middle of doing something, and he'll remember it.
All right. Well, after the 3rd quarter, things are getting interesting. There's been a slight lead change. Burritos After Dark has 280. And with the few extra answers that Horns Down gave, they are up to 285. And that brings us to the 4th quarter.
The 4th quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up. This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total.
The categories for today are as follows. Question 1, Ocean's 8. Questions 2, Three Amigos. Question 3, Mo Money. And question 4, Happy New Year. So question 1, Ocean's 8 is in reference to the NFL. Question 2, in Three Amigos, is in reference to Major League Baseball. Question 3, Mo Money is in reference to the NBA. And Happy New Year is in reference to January 1st, 2023. It is now time for the teams to place their wagers.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
Now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Question 1 in the category of Ocean's 8. On Sunday, January 15th, 2023, what quarterback became the first player ever with 300-plus passing yards, 2-plus passing touchdown passes, and 70-plus rushing yards in a playoff game?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to check in.
Horns Down is checked in. Burritos After Dark, you have about 30 seconds to talk it out and give me your answer and wager.
I'm still trying to figure out who were the wild card teams.
I feel like the Giants. Does it feel familiar that they won a playoff game? But Daniel Jones getting 300 and 2 passing touchdowns just feels crazy.
Right. So did they would have then played the Eagles, because I know the other NFC game was Niners-Cowboys.
Oh, Dak? No. And
then in the AFC, it would have been whoever lost to the Bills and the Chiefs.
Bengals?
Is Joe Burrow running for 70-plus yards?
Nah.
Did the Jags win a playoff game last year?
Yes.
Okay.
Can they come back against... it could be Trevor Lawrence.
It could be Trevor Lawrence.
I actually kind of like Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
Or I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like Trevor
Didn't they
Lawrence
have some crazy
more
comeback win in the playoffs against the Chargers?
Yes.
And then everyone was making fun of the Chargers.
Yes. I mean, it doesn't necessarily say the question doesn't say he had to have won the game.
Yeah, but
Oceans,
I guess then it could be like Herbert if they had a good
team. Ocean's 8. Are we overlooking?
Who's jersey number 8?
Who's jersey number 8?
Daniel Jones. No. Yeah.
Is it? I don't remember.
There was a split second where I would have bet my life he was number 8, but now I don't feel good about it.
I think
I kind of feel like he's number 8.
Okay, let's go with that then. I think
you sure Trevor Lawrence is not number 8?
I think he's in the 2 digits somewhere. I think he's 12 or something. Yeah.
I would just feel so dumb if we went with Daniel Jones and it wasn't Daniel Jones.
I think we go for it. I think the more I think about it, I think he is number 8.
He's number 8. Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Right.
I kind of like it.
Okay, fine. Good for him if that's the answer. We'll check in with Daniel Jones.
For how many points?
For 90 points.
90.
All right, and Horns Down, what did you guys have for an answer and a wager?
Yeah, we kind of pieced everything together. I was trying to remember who all played on that Sunday because I remember watching all 3 of the games. But based on who I remembered playing that day and the Ocean's 8, my initial thought was Lamar, but I then remembered that he wasn't even playing in that Ravens-Cincinnati game. It was Tyler Huntley, which was the famous fumble at the goal line that Hubbard ran back. But it made sense because it was a high-scoring game, and only guy I could think of wearing 8 for any of the quarterbacks that day, Daniel Jones. So we checked in with that, 400.
All right. Well, you clued in on the second part of the clue in the category title of 8. And did anyone watch any of the Ocean's movies? Not the 8, but
it's
the
George
others.
Clooney's character's name, right?
What's
Danny Ocean?
Danny Ocean. So
I told you.
Danny number 8 is
Nice.
Daniel Jones. Both teams are getting their points.
Nice.
This game against the Vikings, he had 301 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 78 rushing yards, along with the last-second regular season loss against the Vikings 3 weeks earlier, where he went 334, 1, and 34. Showcased Danny Dimes' skills that helped him garner a 4-year, $160 million contract. Hopefully he sent a fruit basket to Ed Donatel, the former Vikings defensive coordinator. Seriously, those 2 games got Daniel Jones paid. None of the other games did. Those 2.
Well, the Giants have their franchise quarterback in Tommy Cutlets. So
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with quarterback performances. It's hilarious to me because it's like erasure that people don't realize that outside of the whatever that season was with Chip Kelly and that playoff run with the Eagles, Nick Foles was bad at football. Like every other instance. So it's like why were people thinking that he was good at it?
He had
terrible.
He had the Chip Kelly and then the playoff run when he won the Super Bowl. Those were the only 2 times in Philadelphia that Nick Foles was any good.
And anywhere. And
right.
So, but my whole point is, it's just if you have a big sample size like that or a small sample size of Daniel Jones, you can't base it off of that.
So other mobile quarterbacks who played on that same day were Josh Allen, who went 352, 3 and 20, and Tyler Huntley, who went 226, 2 and 54. So, all right. Let's see here. The difference got a little bit more. The Horns Down is at 385, but Burritos After Dark is at 370. So still anybody's ball game. Moving on to question 2 in the category of Three Amigos. On July 22nd, 2023, Cincinnati Reds broadcaster Jim Day referred to players who hit back-to-back-to-back home runs in the game that day as the Three Amigos. 2 were outfielders, and the third was a middle infielder. And like the film Three Amigos, all 3 are white. Name 2 of these players.
Yeah, don't even stress about it. We're good with that.
All right, we're gonna check in.
Okay, Horns Down is checked in. So Burritos After Dark, you have 2 minutes to talk it out. Give me your answer and your wager.
The first things we put in the chat were I can't name a 2023 Reds player and I can't name a white Reds player. So we're off to a great start. I think, okay, hold on. One of the guys, he's a Red. He's an outfielder. It's TJ. Not TJ Farmer. That's Kyle Farmer. Although Kyle Farmer is a Red, I think. He's not a middle infielder. He plays third.
I remember back when I actually followed baseball, there was like that Reds prospect, Nick Senzel. Did he pan out?
He did not. I think he was hurt a bunch and then just ineffective. TJ, AJ, backslash and forth the fifth.
I just watched that the other day. TJ, RJ, AJ, backslash and forth the fifth.
I can't say the name University of South Florida without saying it the way Keegan-Michael Key says it in that sketch.
Dinklage Margoon.
University of South Florida. TJ Friedel. That's the name. That gets us halfway there. I don't have a second one, but I think TJ Friedel is the Red I'm thinking about. Let's go TJ Friedel and Kyle
But do you know
Farmer.
what position that is?
He's an outfielder.
Yeah, it's second baseman, shortstop. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna have the second one. Meesh, if you don't have anything, I think we just move it along.
Yeah. What's a white sounding name?
Yes, I was waiting for this.
TJ Friedel and from the East West Bowl sketch, we'll check in with TJ Friedel and Dan Smith.
For how many points?
For 50.
All right, and Horns Down, what did you guys have for answers and wager?
So, like I said, Mason talked about him being a degenerate and being able to name all these non-Power 5 guys. I'm a degenerate who doesn't like to gamble on baseball necessarily, but you got to make do with what you got when we get into that dead time of the year. So I do a lot of hit parlays. And a very, a team that I used a lot were the Reds because they had a lot of guys who had a decent batting average. and I knew TJ Friedel and Mariners legend and LSU legend Jake Fraley. So we checked in with Friedel and Fraley.
Well, one team is getting points. If I had left the question the way I initially wrote it, both teams would be getting points, but I changed it to 2 instead of 1. Sorry, burritos.
We just have to be better. I think that's what happened.
Or degenerates.
The 3 are TJ Friedel, Jake Fraley, and Matt McLean.
Oh, I'm so glad we didn't.
So, Penn
State legend Matt. No, that's Matt McGloin. Never mind.
Friedel was the team's starting center fielder. McLean was a fill-in middle infielder, and Fraley was the team's 4th outfielder / designated hitter. Let's move on to question 3 in the category of Mo Money. Due to injuries, 2 players whose salaries were at least $26 million for the season earned more than $1 million per game played for the 2022-23 season. One is a Western Conference big man, and the other is an Eastern Conference shooting forward. Name both of these players. Note, John Wall accepted a buyout from the Rockets, and he signed for only $6,479,000 with the Clippers. Thus, he does not count for this question.
Josh will check in.
All right, Burritos After Dark has checked in. So horns down if you guys can pretty quickly get to some answers and a wager for me. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah. I don't know, though. But Gordon Hayward did sign a pretty big deal. And
right.
I know he missed a ton of games.
Right.
Middleton, I have a hard time. The other hard thing, too, is like guys will get a contract and then they'll get another contract. And I'm just trying to remember when he signed. Because I know he signed at some point. It was like 3 years and $100 million, I think. But I don't remember when it was. It could have been after last year. I don't remember.
He's earning, I would say probably Middleton's probably more. So then
yeah,
the question is who played more games? Who would pick the other one? I don't remember how many Hayward played.
That's like the problem too, is that like being on the West Coast is I feel like I never see the Bucks play. I just know that they're good, and I know that I
know Middleton missed a good bit of time. I just don't know.
Yeah.
How much?
What about for the big man? I feel like we haven't even.
Yeah, I've been struggling to think of.
Like I said, I have Steven Adams. I know Davis missed a bunch of time. You said Zion hasn't.
I don't think he
hasn't signed a big
deal. Not
yet.
Big enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know Adams missed like the second half of the whole second half of the year. I just don't remember what his contract was when he signed with the Grizzlies.
Right. I'm just trying to think of any other big men in the West.
Because Sabonis got a nice chunk, I think, from the Kings, but I think he played a lot. Obviously, they had their best year in forever. It's not going to be any big man for the Warriors or the Spurs or the Rockets. The Mavs don't have a good big man.
About Towns, wasn't?
Oh, I completely forgot about Minnesota. Oh no.
Was Towns hurt? I don't.
I mean, if you ask Josh, he's the softest big man who's ever existed, but that can't be true because it's Rashard Lewis.
I don't know.
I don't know. So I don't know. What do you want to do for the big man? That's the main thing. I think we should stick with Gordon Hayward.
Okay. I mean, AD has a reputation for getting hurt all the time, so maybe I don't remember what he did last year though. So
okay.
But he never finishes the season.
No, he never plays a mostly full schedule.
So
okay.
I mean, I could easily see, especially with his contract, that he's earning enough to where.
So we'll go offset Anthony Davis and Gordon Hayward. Is that what we're settling on?
Yeah, I feel like we're just stereotyping
go with
athletes that get a lot of money that always get hurt. I feel like that's our.
Hey.
But
all right, we'll check in with Anthony Davis and Gordon Hayward.
For how many points?
100.
Burritos After Dark. What do you guys have for answers and wager?
It's something very, very different. So this should be interesting. Meesh sent over Chris Middleton almost immediately, and I liked it almost immediately, so we completely stopped thinking about anybody else in the Eastern Conference. So I hope Chris Middleton's right. And then we went back and forth on the big man for a while and just started naming dudes, which you know how that goes. And we settled on the fact that maybe he is making enough money, so we checked in with Chris Middleton and Zion Williamson.
All right. Well, unfortunately, no teams will be getting points. Both teams will be losing their points. One team got one of them correct. The Eastern Conference shooting forward was indeed Chris Middleton. He played in only 33 games last season and his salary was $37,945,000 and some change. So he averaged $1,149,857 per start or per game he played in. And one team mentioned the current softest player in the NBA, and that would be Karl Anthony Towns, who only played in 29 games, and his salary was $33,833,000 and some change. So he actually averaged the most with $1,166,669 per game played.
Wow.
So Gordon Hayward actually played 50 games, and Anthony Davis played in 56 games. And Zion,
his extension didn't kick in quick enough.
He was on the last year of his rookie contract this last season, so he was only making like 13 and change.
I think he signed it at the end of 2
what does that
seasons
word,
ago.
How do I use the word only for 13 and some change million?
Ugh, that really sucks.
All right. Two other players earned more than $900,000 per game played, and they were Kevin Durant and Andrew Wiggins.
How many points did y'all wager, by the way? I think.
We wagered 90.
They wagered 90. So going into the last question, it's not out of reach per se necessarily. Horns Down's at 310 and Burritos After Dark is at 230. Let's go to the last question in the category of Happy New Year. On January 1st, 2023, what wide receiver went off for 270 yards on 10 receptions, including 3 touchdowns in a Week 17 division win against the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, process of elimination. I think kind of.
Okay, we'll check in.
Way.
Okay, Horns Down is checked in. So for the last time, Burritos After Dark, you guys can talk it out. Let me know your answer and your wager.
We're doing a lot of grasping at straws. Meesh sent over a lot of good wide receivers.
Well, yeah, so it's Bucks, Saints, Falcons. So yeah, Evans and Godwin, Olave, Drake London.
Yeah, of that group, I said I like Mike Evans the best. I know it's not Drake London for reasons that will become clear on a different episode.
Godwin doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Olave probably also not. I know he got like just around 1,000 last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's good or bad for him. Like he had like a quiet 1,000 yards last year. As quiet as you possibly.
I feel like 207 is not a part of a quiet 1,000.
Yeah.
So
or it could just be I wasn't watching that day. But yeah, I think I maybe like Mike Evans the best out of those.
All right, let's.
And am I missing any major receiver on these?
I don't think so. No, I think.
Like who would be another Saints guy last year?
Unless it's somebody like that isn't a wide receiver one guy and then just went off one game.
Yeah, I don't know if I would even.
No, I say we go with Mike Evans.
Sounds good.
Checking it in, Mike Evans.
For
50 points.
50.
All right. And Horns Down. What'd you guys have for an answer and a wager?
Yeah, we Mason and I both used our very contrasting styles of logic. Mason went through matchups, and I was like, I think it was Mike Evans, because I'm pretty sure he needed that to keep his 1,000-yard streak alive, the thing that's going to get him in the Hall of Fame, because he didn't have a great year last year. I mean, he didn't have his best year. Let's just put it that way. And I think I remember the 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then Mason actually broke it down schedule wise. And yes, we all agree that Desmond Ridder is ass, and he cost me money today, and for that reason, and Arthur Smith is a knob, they're not going to go off for 200 yards receiving. So yes, we also agree that it's Mike Evans for 51 points.
And both teams will be getting their points. The correct answer was Mike Evans. So just to let you know, the game was fully written before Mason said he would play tonight. So I didn't even think to the fact that that one leaned heavily in his favor as a Saints fan. But Evans was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week, no surprise. And Tom Brady threw for 432 yards in that game. So not too bad. All right, the game has come to an end, and here are the final scores. Burritos After Dark finishes with a respectable 280 points, and our clipboard captains of the game, who are receiving the coveted Tommy DeVito Award with 361 points, is Horns Down.
With his
Italian hands up for Tommy Cutlets.
This Notre Dame leprechaun-looking agent today. It was a fun sight for me watching the Saints game.
Yeah, that just got inducted into the Italian Sports Hall of Fame for being Italian.
All right. Well, Meesh, I'm sorry we couldn't get you a win today. One of these times, it's going to happen.
I mean, if the reason I lost is going to be that I'm not placing enough hits parlays to be able to name multiple Cincinnati Reds, I'm going to sleep well tonight.
Yeah. All right.
It's not a great place, Misha. You're doing a great job. I'm proud of you.
Oh no, that's just thanks to the voters in California for not making it extremely legal.
Oh,
like it is in other places.
It would be a problem if that.
I'm sort of glad that while it's been approved in Minnesota, they're still working through all the figuring it all out. So I don't really need the pressure of that, because I'm sure I'll get sucked into Marcus and Eric's kind of all their parlay junk. They'll be like, "Here, play this parlay." It's what I'm doing, and I probably shouldn't.
All the cool kids are doing it, Josh.
Right.
If you want to know the state of affairs, me, the Erics, and Josh North are all in a group chat about gambling, so we don't flood the
Appreciate that.
podcast.
I'm literally checking a parlay as we speak. So
and I'll make sure that
all right,
when
added.
I can legally
you
do
can
it.
add me. I'm checking Bet365 right now.
When I can legally do it, I'm sure I will hit you guys up to get into that chat. Until then, I don't care, because I can't do anything about it. All right, so Meesh, do you have? Is there anything else you'd like to say before we call it a night?
Thanks for having me on. It was fun. I really feel like I got a nice recap of the year. Some horse racing, some other stuff. But yeah. No, it was a good game.
Well, you're welcome anytime, Meesh.
I'm a little annoyed as an NBA guy that I completely erased how injured Towns was last year. That would be something I should know. But
yeah, well, what can you do? It's, Okay, well, once again, Meesh, thanks for joining us tonight. And on behalf of Mason, Marcus, Matt T, myself, and the rest of the Benchwarmers, we'd like to say thanks for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. And until next time, we'll keep the bench warm.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Into deep left center for Mitchell, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at BenchwarmersTP.